Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gamers, geezers, geeks, stormtrooper, overambitious police officers, crappy game developers, and people who kind of step outside the bounds but haven't really stepped outside the bounds because maybe someone's being a little bit sensitive. And that isn't actually aimed at my co-hosts, but I could aim it at them. It's this week's Monkey Nut Punch podcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome on board. As always, on these podcasting journeys, a man whose first love is the sea, and the second is Liverpool Football Club. Don't ask where his family sit in that list. It's Nigel!
Yeah, don't ask where that sits. It's a close third, I would say.
You're not supposed to say that. That's bad. So bad.
Anyway, hello.
So just a quick one, Nigel, before we start. Where have you stuck your fishy fingers this week?
Well, I think we're going to talk about it later, but I've been trying Farming Simulator and the other game, Cities.
Okay. And
Farmyard animals, Nige. Farmyard animals.
And a man who has been banned from trampolining by the National Space Agency because it counts as a near-Earth incident. It's Keith. Hello, Keith.
That's a new one. That's pretty good. Hello, everyone.
Can't tell I've been watching documentaries on asteroids. Yes. So, yes.
Tyrannosaurus Keith.
Yes, Tyrannosaurus Keith. So, I'm back. I'm back. I'd just like to congratulate Keith on keeping Keith and Nigel on keeping good timing and good pacing. But the big question from last week is why the fuck can't you do it when I'm around?
Because where's the fun in that?
Yeah, I tried to keep you guys going, and it's just rambling off in the woods. And I know what it is because Keith wasn't drinking last week because of the time difference. Was he?
I was. I had Corona.
Corona. I need some beer. I haven't got any beer on me. I feel really naked without my beer. Anywho. We've got lots of stuff to talk about. There's some good stuff, some weird stuff going on, and this, that, and the other. So we're going to talk about The Last of Us Part 2, and we're going to be talking about Better Call Saul because me and Keith are going to be talking about that. I feature in the last story, which the guys, if you look at the notes, you'll find funny. It's like an MCU Easter egg. That one is. I've
read the notes.
Telling the future. All right, so. There's an actor called Sam Witwer, and Sam Witwer starred in a game I played recently called Days Gone. Really good game. I highly recommend it over other zombie shooters. And this guy has worked for Lucasfilm for about a decade. He started off on Force Unleashed, and I'm sure Nigel was desperately trying to sell me that game when it first came out. He's like, oh, he does this, they've got ragdoll physics and everything, and he's got some engine that they used in Grand Theft Auto or something along those lines where you could cut them up and this, that, and the other, and they'd freak out and whatnot.
I don't know if it was me saying I've never played the game, although it looked all right.
Yes, you did.
Did.
The one you tried selling me. You didn't buy the game because it's typical knowledge.
Yeah, no, I wanted you to buy it so I could borrow it after you completed.
Okay.
Which is what I do.
It's ironic because I've got Malcolm's copy of it. So,
well, he won't mind you lending it over.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure I'll get a text message after he watches this and goes, "Sir, can I have that back?" Actually, saying that, he hasn't got a PS3 anymore. It's mine. I get to claim
PS3. Was it on PS3?
Yeah, it was on PS3. It was on PS3. Anyway,
okay.
Get back into the story. The guy has worked for Lucasfilm for a long time. He does a lot of the voiceover work. He specifically does Darth Maul in Clone Wars and in Rebels. And he was on a live stream because he's a nerd. It's great, actually. I love watching him because he's like Henry Cavill in that way, where he's just completely immersed in the culture. And you can look in his shelves in the background. He's got old PC Star Trek games on his shelf, along with a model of the Enterprise. It looks really cool. But he was talking on stream, and he was being honest about Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Now. It says on It says on many news articles and many videos and whatnot, where they are going on about how he like dunked on thingy or or owned him or something along these lines. Tried to find the one with the least kind of caustic kind of a view, but he was really polite, and he said, look, if you look at The Last Jedi as a film on its own, it works. Yeah, as a film on its own, it works. Yeah, that was the nice thing he said. That's him being diplomatic. And then he went, but if you know all the Star Wars lore and the Star Wars culture and all the Star Wars backstories and all stuff like that, then it doesn't work. And it was clear that Rian Johnson hadn't done his homework on Star Wars before he made the film, which is the one of the most honest comments that I've heard from anyone in the kind of Hollywood industry. So, and I thought it was nice and honest, and he wasn't being an arsehole, and he just wanted to tell the truth, and he was being very diplomatic about it. People have turned it into, Star Wars voice actor calls out Rian Johnson for being an arsehole. I've got the rest of the internet does the same thing. He was being quite pleasant and nice, and he's got stories about why he works for Lucasfilm. And he works for Lucasfilm because he just really loves Star Wars, and he's really kind of immersed into the culture. And even they say the reason that you work for us is the fact that you enjoy and you're so enthusiastic about all the stuff that we do, which is great. But it's funny that he politely came out and just said, "Nah, Ryan, you didn't do your homework," which is true.
But
by
being
quote.
polite, he almost owned him more, really, because he didn't lose his cool. In my opinion, he's that's probably one of the best call outs of Rian Johnson, because he didn't go, "Oh, your movie's shit." He just said what is true. The problem is, Rian Johnson. What makes things so bad is that Rian Johnson couldn't be asked. He even turned around and said, "I don't care." He said it so many times. "I didn't care about that. I'm not interested in that." Then why the fuck are you making a Star Wars film? You plonker.
There was a good quote from him, actually. It says, "The Last Jedi to me felt like a movie made by a guy who hadn't quite done his homework. I think Rian Johnson is a talented guy, but Bruce Lee didn't develop Jeet Kune Do without learning Kung Fu first."
Yeah.
Well, yeah, okay. The sentiments there, although it wasn't Kung Fu. So
what was it then, Nudge?
Oh, fuck. Wing Chun.
Isn't Wing Chun under Kung Fu like one of the...
Kung Fu is a generic term for different varying martial arts, and Wing Chun is a specific style.
Okay.
So, yes. Okay. Yeah, essentially, he's right.
He's absolutely spot on, and I'm glad he said it, because I imagine he's probably been holding his tongue for a good couple of years now to try and find out what the
cred in that as well. I mean, it's all well and good us coming on here going, "Oh, The Last Jedi is shit. The Last Jedi is shit." We don't have any sort of credibility, whereas this guy does.
This guy's got a lot of fucking credibility. 10 years at Lucasfilm.
Yeah, it's nice to see that there are people out there also saying, "Yeah, it wasn't good." I mean, I can sit here and I can get all wound up again about Rian Johnson because I cannot stand the man for his arrogance and the way he's reacted to the fans. But no, this was polite, and in my opinion, it pwned him more because it was polite. He didn't lose his cool. He just said it there and then. You didn't do your homework, and that is the truth.
True. So, okay. We won't dwell on it because we won't have a long Star Wars conversation like we always do about how shit things work out. Right. This story angers me because the police have lost the term discretion. Yeah. Now,
did they ever have it in America?
I managed to find the video for this, which I was scrambling around for just before we started.
Oh yeah, I saw this.
I realised it's embedded on the tweet in the article, and I was like, fucking dummy. Right, so imagine this, yeah? You're apparently it's a restaurant. I thought it was a comic book shop. Yeah?
Yeah, it's a restaurant. So, it's a themed restaurant.
It's a themed restaurant, yeah? So naturally, you go. I think me and Keith have done this where we've had to stand out handing out fucking leaflets. We weren't dressed up as anything, yeah? But we've had to dish out leaflets in Staines High Street. Fucking at the turn of the century, Keith.
20 years ago, Gav. It was 20 years ago.
It's more than 20 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
But anyway, this poor girl was she was asked to promote the store by dressing up as the restaurant, sorry, by dressing up as a stormtrooper and walking around while they played music. Okay, so there you can see this guy's just driven past to see what's going on, and all of a sudden, the Alberta Police Force from Canada have turned up en masse to arrest a cosplayer. All right, so this guy's like, kind of, what the fuck's going on here? So he's naturally gone around. Is there what? 1, 2, 3? Is that 3 police cars there?
All with guns pointed at her.
With guns pointed at her, right? She isn't holding a gun at the moment from that there. Another thing is, yeah, you cannot fucking kneel in those in that costume. No. She looks fucking absolutely gutted. Yeah, this guy's probably trying to probably in caught by the police at the moment. Yeah,
if you listen to the audio, you can hear her screaming that she's in
crying,
pain, and there's people around her going that she's just cosplaying. What the hell are you doing?
This is what he should have done. Yeah, they should have gone up to her and said, "Please put the gun down." She would put the gun down, guys. We're just going to check if your weapons. Got 3 male officers got to frisk her to find if she had any weapons on it, and then had a conversation. She's not a fucking armed felon, all right? Cracky, that guy is a little scary looking. Let's just gonna put that on the game. So, but I find it really deeply disturbing that the police couldn't sit there and go, okay, we know who doesn't not know Star Wars.
So, yeah, why couldn't they have just said, put that on the floor, step 5 paces back, grab the gun, have a look at it, and go, "Oh, it's a fucking plastic toy. Carry on doing what you're doing, but we're keeping this. You can't use that." If that's the issue.
This is the fun thing: is I look at this bit of footage here, yeah, as it starts off here. She looks like she's having a shit day to start with, yeah. Look at the way she's walking. She's like, "I've been told to do this."
Yeah.
Oh, at least it can't get any worse. At least the police can't turn up and fucking arrest me.
For walking
dressed as a sodding stormtrooper.
The only reason why they turned up, I read into this, and the reason why the police turned up is because members of public had called in an issue with someone having a firearm.
A firearm.
So members of the public who are utter twats have gone, "There's someone with a firearm." And then they've turned up, seen that, and why did the police then go from 0 to 60 or 100, whatever the fucking term is, like that? When you see someone like that and you go, "Oh, there's a fucking stormtrooper." It doesn't matter; they're not going to hit anything anyway. But behind them,
the Nazis.
There is a sign. There's a big sign up above where she stood, which says "themed restaurant, Disney, Marvel, DC, like Star Wars, like all that," and then it says it across. That's the car park, and it says it across the thing as well. With the owner shouting across.
But even so, if they establish that she's not got a fucking firearm, then you frisk them to make sure they've not got some kind of edged-based weapon, or something else. And then when you establish that they're harmless, then you can sit there and talk to them, because they're just walking around and go, don't want to sound rude or anything, someone thought you were walking around with a gun. Now, it could have been one of two. It could have been one of two people in my mind, which could be wrong. It could be one of those the irritating nosy neighbour, who will dob people in. And ever since we've been locked down because of the beer pub, these people have fucking spiked in their intensity. Yeah. Oh my God, guys, the neighbours are having a party, and they weren't having a party. They just had the music on loud. Yeah. The fucking police bust the door down, and then you got the police with the fucking drones because people in the middle of the fucking downs, 2 kilometers away from anybody, weren't social distancing, apparently. Yeah, even though the rules state, if you read them, it says if you're going somewhere for a walk or something, you have to make sure that you spend more time walking than you did driving. So you can't spend 2 hours to go to somewhere to do a 15-minute walk. You drive 2 hours, you're doing a 4-hour walk. Yeah, because it kind of makes sense, and it's again discretionary powers, and the police aren't doing that. It is insane. I feel so sorry for that poor girl. She didn't look happy to start with, and then that fucking happened. But the other person is an edgy boy who done it.
Yeah, somebody who hates Disney did that. So
sorry, real quick one. Right before you say anything, Dave. Yeah, I'm going to show this comment quickly. Not in North America. This North America, yes, but it's in Alberta where your book's
Canada.
So yes,
the most accepting place.
Oh yeah, the most accepted place. And
this is Canada. I thought it was the States.
It's Alberta.
Canada.
Oh, bloody hell!
Canada,
in the States,
Alberta.
they probably would have shot her.
Yeah.
Then this would have been some horror fucking story.
Although, to be fair to the police in America, I have seen it where there was a bloke open carrying a assault rifle, semi-automatic assault rifle. You're not allowed fully auto,
Yeah,
but you're allowed semi-auto. I don't know. I'm British. I don't fucking get it that. But the thing is, the police turned up, checked it, spoke to the bloke. They went, "Can I see your weapon?" He passed the weapon over to him. He did some checks because he knows what he's doing with weapons, obviously. The policeman checks, blah, 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 empties the barrels and said, right, yeah, okay, right. And he checks that it is a semi-auto and he goes, yep, I'm fully satisfied that this is only semi-auto and you're fully legal to carry this around with you. Had a chat with him.
yeah.
And then he even offered a little bit of advice and blah, 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 blah. He was actually really pleasant about
What's
it.
this, Arizona?
I can't remember.
Open
but
carries
it was
allowed in
a
Arizona. It's the only state I know that it is. There's probably other states, but
All I
maybe
know it
Wyoming,
was,
somewhere where no one lives.
yeah, I know it was sunny because, you know, it was quite bright and the policeman had fucking sunglasses on looking all Oakley cool sort of thing. And you know what they do.
Yeah.
But then contrast that to she is walking outside her place of work with a fucking stormtrooper
And music
outfit
playing
on.
in the background, which you couldn't
Music
hear.
on in the background. Back and forth like this, just little pacing like this, talking to people. Apparently, she had spoken to many people in the day as well. It's absolutely ridiculous. I'm not one for just suing for suing's sake, but apparently the police got irate with her because she couldn't get down to her knees quick enough and then couldn't get lying flat on it shouldn't have got to that point in the first place.
Yeah.
But they got pissed off because she couldn't get down quick enough, despite her wearing a costume which restricts movement. And they apparently pushed her down, and there's blood all over the car park from the police pushing her onto the floor.
Okay.
So
Yes.
Yes.
I saw those bits actually. Yeah.
not good.
Well
done.
Is there any? Did she get a complaint in? Is she okay now?
I don't know. There's not been much follow up in regards to this.
All I heard about that is she's been advised by her employer or whoever to lawyer up, and they're having conversations at the moment. And
Again,
frankly,
yeah,
fucking sue them because that is disgraceful. You're doing your job. It could have been de-escalated as soon as they turned up and found.
This is the funny thing is when if you picture say like a county sheriff in a little kind of like a little town in the States, yeah, and that happened there, the county sheriff would probably know that person and probably tell him, "Go, what are you doing?" And they'd have a conversation, and then they'd use discretion, as I said. Not Malcolm. Nigel, can you go through the messages, please?
Yep. Yeah. We've already touched on one, which is David. But he should have stated that Canada. Yeah. You should have.
The reason I said Alberta, mate, is because it's in your book.
Yeah, it's in your book. Yeah, she couldn't. Your wife couldn't believe his story when you told her. I don't think anyone would believe it unless you actually saw the video. I'm glad you took the video, to be fair. And I'm not sure who Malk's talking about here, but they would have missed this too.
He's talking about stormtroopers, mate.
Yes, there you go. There you go.
Clearly, Malcolm hasn't watched the beginning of this.
No, I think
because he would have written something else. All right. So let's move on to into our next one. This is a nice short one. This is, me and Keith, and I'm not sure how big you are with the
I haven't seen the books.
You haven't seen the books?
No, let alone read them.
I'm waiting for it to come out.
I haven't even seen the cover of the book.
Okay, so I was just flicking through Twitter to try and find some tasty memes of The Last of Us. I found some, but I don't know what ones I'm gonna show. But we got this from James S.A. Corey, and I don't know if it's Ty Frank or the other guy who I can never remember who wrote this, because it's pretty arrogant of Wes Chatham to assume he's actually in the whole thing, talking about the fact that The Expanse looks like it's going to go for the full 9 seasons on Amazon, which is fantastic. Which is round of applause, well done. I'm looking forward to that. The downside to that is after the next series we get a massive time jump. We get a time jump, and that's gonna piss a lot of people off, I feel.
Does that happen in the books?
That happens in the books too.
Well, you say they're going to do a time jump, but they have moved away from the books on more one occasion.
They were talking. Chatham was talking about the time jumps, and so was James S.A. Corey, and they were saying that they were worried about the time jumps too. So I think they're keeping time. They have to. It doesn't. You can't not do it because it doesn't make any logical sense. The character of Winston Duarte doesn't make any sense. The Laconians setting up a homeworld and establishing a homeworld. If you don't do the time jump for 20 years, it doesn't make any sense. So they have to do the time jump in order for logic to happen. But long and short of it is, James S.A. Corey turned around and said, Wes Chatham goes, it's pretty arrogant to think he's going to be in the whole thing, and I was like, kind of, fuck. Spoiler warning.
I don't know. Does that happen in the books? Like, does he die in the book?
Well, no spoilers, but yes.
He gets shot in the head by a Laconian. Motherfucker.
But I think that's a pretty shitty tweet.
It is a bit of a shitty
it's meant
tweet.
to be a joke.
I think it's
meant to be a joke.
No, I think it may have been. What do you call it? Overblown a bit. Shit! I didn't do the other tweet because he turns around and he said, you've earned it, blah blah blah. But I just saw that on Twitter and went, that's a bit shitty. That does look shitty. It's the problem when you put text down on thing and you can't hear tone and you can't see body language and this, that, and the other, and that's how you get the flame wars over emails and whatnot.
You sort of can by using emotes.
Yeah, but even with emotes, it's still not.
Yeah, but it lessens it a little bit. Doesn't it?
You're kind of right there, Nige, but that does come across as a bit of a shitty tweet.
It does. The way he's written it, I think he's trying to be funny, to be fair, but because I was looking at his and Wes's tweets just before this, and they've got a bit of back foot. They went just before everyone got locked down. It seems that they've met up and gone for drinks and all that sort of stuff. They've been having a good time. And so they get on quite well. So, sorry,
they wrapped season 5 pre Beer Bug, so we are getting full season 5 on schedule.
When's that, Keith? Fountain.
Well, it probably will be. It'll be slightly delayed because they're having to do the visual effects from home.
Right,
December. We are getting it, but they're as Gareth said, they're talking season 6, 7, 8, and 9 as well now, which is like just fucking amazing. Bearing in mind the show got cancelled, and it is still one of, if not the best goddamn thing on TV. It's amazing. I love The Expanse so much.
Okay. Anyway, that was just supposed to be a quick detour because I've got something really, really important to share with you. Cyberpunk 2077 is coming out. Yeah, it's got a fucking awesome set of
only
options
because you could.
All right. So Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh, Keith, your dreams have been answered.
Yeah. So now players get to customize breasts, buttocks, and genitalia. This is awesome. I don't know.
Keith can play a man with breasticles like him.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about I could play this one of two ways. I could play it with a guy with an extremely small penis and make him really angry, or I could play it with such a large penis or set of breasts that it actually makes doing things difficult.
Quick, like run over here. Fucking bruised thighs.
I find it really weird that they were like kind of. I know why they put it in there because it's the whole fucking it's whole alphabet people is the reason they put it in there, so you can like you can customize this, that, and the other, blah blah blah. But I just love the idea that I can play with a massive cock to the point that if I get excited during a gunfight, my character's going to pass out.
All the blood's gone to the
Just
wrong
on
head.
fucking flagpole. There he is. I'll be like hiding behind a box and he'll be poking out. Or I have mammoth breasts, yeah. And every time I talk to a bloke or a lesbian or something, they'll be like, kind of, yeah, sure, as they're looking down. But they answer all my questions because I like charisma of 10 or whatever, like you get in Fallout.
Charisma of 10 because you've got
Massive
huge
Norks equals charisma 10. Yeah. I love the idea. I think it's
Wasn't there another one? There was. Conan.
Conan is the only other game that I think you can do it in that isn't an adult-only game. There are probably adult-only games that I haven't heard of that you can do it in. I'm sure we've covered this with Porn Simulator, etc.
I think in Conan, it was free on PS Plus a while back, which turns out it was a shite game. But yeah, I think you could do it there. You could play around with the genitalia.
Okay, all right. So we've had a couple of messages as we were reading the Expanse story.
Yes. So your wife, she loves the Expanse. But other than that, hello,
Gerzo.
hello.
Change your name. We still know who you are, mate. We still know who you are. A couple of times I've watched your Irish language videos and just gone, I have no idea what you're thinking. But I just want to know out of curiosity. But
It's English, mate, but
not,
with an Irish twang.
It's not English, no. I always accuse Italians at work of secretly talking English behind my back because you've got two Italians to chat to each other, and all of a sudden you hear a whole sentence in English, even though they're talking Italian. Goes, you're fucking making it up, boys. It's English. Everyone knows English. Everyone else is just lying. But yeah, because our friend here has got I think he's got a degree in old Irish Gaelic. I think that's it.
Gaelic.
Yeah, which is awesome.
And there are many forms of Gaelic as well. So I'm assuming
like,
it's Irish Gaelic.
The most popular one is Gaelic football.
But yeah.
So
yes.
Yeah. Anyway, it's he's calling from Planet Namek, and he said ever since the sequel trilogy, police have been rougher on stormtroopers. Make of that what you will.
Rougher on students.
Rougher on students.
Like it. They didn't like The Last Jedi, so they take it out on students.
Rough them up. Chuck them in the cells. How dare they like that Ryan Johnson shit? So,
yeah.
Anyway, hello. Nice to see you again.
Yes, nice to see you. Lovely to see you again. Okay, so we've got. I want to talk about The Last of Us, which we were going to talk about last week, but I had the shit. So I only blunt way of putting it. I had the shit, so I couldn't talk about it. And it's quite a story because it goes all the way back to the end of The Last of Us. All right, so the Last of Us comes out on PS3. I've played it. I think it's brilliant. I think I tried to get Keith to play it. He got fucking upset over the first part of the game because I don't know, I'm a bit emotional now. I don't want to play the rest of the game. So we played it. Everyone kind of got bought into it. It had a story that was really engrossing. We all got into it and went, this is really, really good. Then Gamergate happens. And the rise of the wicked witch of YouTube, Anita Sarkeesian, all of a sudden rears her ugly head with feminist frequency and had terrible, terrible takes on sexism in games. Now, it's weird that when you say these terrible takes in sexism games are one thing, but not completing a project that people have paid for is worse. Yeah? Not finishing it off. But one employee of Naughty Dog, one Neil Druckmann, or Neil Fuckman, or Cuckman, or whoever you want to call it, bought into this bullshit. So he bought into this bullshit and decided to ruin his career and an entire company all at the same time. And he's been working on it quite clearly for the last 4 years. So Neil Druckmann bought into this shit and he started injecting it into games. And the first game that he noticed that he injected in was The Last of Us DLC. The Last of Us DLC turned Ellie into a lesbian, even though she clearly was looking at pornographic magazines of men in the original game. And she turned her into lesbian because representation and all that balmy nonsense, and it's representation on a real fucking shallow end. So they did that. One of the lead writers, a person called Amy Hennig, who worked on Naughty Dog, I don't know how true this is, apparently had problems because Ellie and the character were underage and he was sexualizing them, and she was like, we don't do that. That's not good. And it's not good. I mean, we shouldn't be doing stuff like that.
Yeah, I remember her being quite young, Ellie.
Yeah, she was about 14 when you play the game, so she was probably about 13 or 12 in the DLC, or maybe 14, we'll say, just for thingy, but still not good. So she had fallen out with him over that. But this all happens while they were trying to put together Uncharted 4. So they were pulling staff from areas to say, right, we're starting to put Uncharted 4 together. We've got an idea. We're going to have 2 guys go up against Nathan Drake. One of them's going to be his secret brother, and it was supposed to be a secret, and the other guy's going to be an arsehole played by Alan Tudyk. They did this, and Amy Hennig got so fucked off with the pushing and pulling and the pulling of resources and having to argue and whatnot, she left. She signed a non-disparagement clause, so we'll never know the proper truth coming out, so we were having to guess all this shit.
I think her script was pretty much done as well.
Yes, the game was almost done, but Neil Druckmann decided to rewrite the script because he had to appease the Wicked Witch of YouTube. So he put in an undefeatable female woman by the name of Nadine. And it's really annoying because I understand her not being able to beat her up until the last bit of the game, but she should be the boss. You set her up to be the boss, like Chekhov's gun. If you show a gun in the first act, if you don't use it by the third act, people feel cheated.
Yep.
Yeah. So they set up this undefeatable character, Nadine. So that then...
I thought she was going to be the boss, to be fair.
I thought she was going to be the boss. I thought it was going to be one of 2 things. You were either going to chat your way out of it and persuade her to fuck off and turn around and say, look, it doesn't matter how strong you think you are. I have killed pretty much all of your men. You command nobody. I've destroyed all your military equipment. Your company's fucked. You're fucked. Everything's fucked. Now do the sensible thing and leave with your life. Or I'm going to fucking see if you can breathe through your face hole, through your forehead. All right? So you put that in there. That then fucked a lot of people off, yeah? So the game got rewritten. So they had it ready. They pretty much had followed most of the plan. Sounds a bit familiar to one Kathleen Kennedy with Solo. And then they rewrote and redid the whole thing. So it didn't have a secret brother anymore. It was a blatant brother. Alan Tudyk went, nah, fuck this, I'm off. And then they put the game out. And people were like kind of, And apparently during this, they had what do you call it? Not games testers, where they're doing like focus groups and stuff. So asking one of these people, to which he went, I don't want to play as Nathan Drake's daughter, and I don't want to be beaten up by a woman. To which Neil Druckmann, apparently, Captain Soy, fucking kicked him out. But he forgets that point of a focus group is to hear things that you might not necessarily want to hear, but are truthful.
Oh, but these people can't take that. They can't take that. They're so fucking whimsy and made of balsa wood. They can't take that shit. Anything that even disagrees with their ideology, they can't take it because they're so delicate.
Okay. So this is quite a long story. I've been thinking about how to tell this story. So anyway, so that happens, and then they start working on The Last of Us 2. And then a guy called Bruce Stradley leaves in January 2018 because he's had enough. And he fucks off. And he was one of the people who kind of... Certain creatives need other people to keep them in check. Yeah, I think George Lucas is a great example. If you have someone to keep him in check, he does much better work than when he doesn't. So you look at Indiana Jones, Steven Spielberg was there to keep him in check. Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi had people keeping him in check, yeah? As soon as he gets rid of those people, all of a sudden you've got a dance routine in fucking Return of the Jedi that you don't want. So he leaves, yeah? So Naughty Dog now is bleeding senior members of staff, people who have been there for decades, yeah, who've done, not going to take decades, for about 10 years, now leaving because they don't like the way it's run, yeah. The management there is fucking appalling, yeah. So they start working on it, yeah. They have lost key animators. So what he does is he goes out and goes, you know what I'll do? I'll hire Hollywood animators to help us make the game. So okay, so they hire Hollywood animators. The problem is when you do a Hollywood animation versus game animation, a game animation is seen from 360 degrees, where a Hollywood animation is seen from one perspective. Yeah, so you can have little clanky bits. They don't show. It doesn't matter. They won't come out in the render. They will on a game. Plus the software is different, this, that, and the other, and it does. There is some acclimatization to it. Not a bad strategy. But what was happening was that Neil Druckmann apparently was just leaving people to do their own thing. So instead of managing them and saying, look, we have one clear vision, like a director should do, we're going this way, I need you to do this, you to do this, you to do this. So that happens, yeah? So Naughty Dog then, in March of this year, I think it was March of this year or February of this year, said that they've lost 70% of their staff because the management is so fucking poor. Yeah? They have lost staff. It is just mind-blowing how this happens, yeah? So they lose staff and that, and then all of a sudden, boom, beer bug hits, yeah? The release date is off. So they were going through the crunch period. The release date is off. They've been told it's been pushed back and this, that, and the other. Now here comes the rub. Staff who work on a kind of, I will have pay to a point, but I will expect a bonus to make up for the fact that you're not paying me what you should be paying me. Which is a real shit way of working. You should really negotiate to have what you're owed and a bonus. But that's how they chose to work. So what happened was the beer bug hit, all of a sudden revenue and everything dry. We can't sell the game. We expect to sell the game, we can't sell the game. You can't have your bonus. But the management can have the bonus. What the fuck? So the management get the bonus. This all sounds like we've worked in corporations and worked with dodgy people in business. We know this happens. So that then fucks off a member of staff who apparently then leaks it online. So the leaks come out and we hear about the story. So I will ask Keith to flash back to the PlayStation 2 era and the launch of Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty. What was the most irritating thing about that game?
Came out at midnight.
No, the actual game, not the release of the game.
I think you don't play as Snake, do you?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Don't play as Snake. That fucked off loads of people that all of a sudden you're playing as this long blonde-haired, slightly effeminate-looking person rather than the grizzled Snake with his bandana. Okay, that's fine. All right, one game can make that fuck up. Halo's Guardians, yeah? Halo Guardians comes out, yeah? And people are looking at what looks at a character called Locke versus Master Chief. Now, Locke's played by the guy who did Luke Cage, and I cannot remember the actor's name. And everyone's looking at it thinking, oh, is Locke going to kill Master Chief at the end of the game, blah, blah, blah. You wind up playing the 60 to 70% of the game as Locke, where you really wanted to play the entire game as fucking Master Chief. Not a big Halo fan, but I understand that would piss you off something royally. You're expected to play that. So, knowing history, knowing gaming history and how people react to things, yeah, they, in their infinite wisdom, decide to kill off one. You don't get to play as Joel, the character you played with all the way through. So there's your Solid Snake. You don't even get to play as Solid Snake in this one. So Joel is out of the picture. There is no playing as Joel. You get to play as Ellie. Okay, I can live with playing as Ellie. Yeah, until you get to halfway through the game. When a new character from fucking nowhere ridens in or locks in, depending on what your console is, yeah, and kills off Joel with a golf club. Gets a Joel in one, shall we say. All right? Kills off that character. So you've been attached to this character. You've gone through these games and you've gone, this is the character I like. This is my Solid Snake. This is my Master Chief, yeah? I like this character. Kills him off with a golf club. Okay? And then you get to play as that arsehole, as you're now hunting down Ellie, the only other character that you liked, Robin to Batman, yeah? And her job then to kill Ellie at the end of the game. Everybody is pissed. Everybody is fuming. Everybody is talking about it, yeah? And to top it off, Abby does not look like a woman. If you see the images, and I'm sure I put it on the thumbnail of her, she does not look like a woman. They say they based it on a woman, yeah, who was a bodybuilder. I'm sorry, she's been eating all the fucking, taking tons of protein shakes and doing the steroids and whatnot. Well, she might not be, but
there are women bodybuilders who look far more effeminate than what you think.
But that's like, there was a wrestler called Chyna who horribly committed suicide. Yep. And she was quite well built, but she still looked a bit more feminine than Abby here, who they've just removed it from.
If you take a cue from, I don't know what it's called now, is it WWE or something? Yes. If you look at the women who fight in WWE, I say fight, entertainment in WWE, they're all very effeminate, but they've all got skill. You've got to have skill to be able to get to the point to entertain crowds. And they're not brutish, not all of them. There's probably one in there. But they're pretty feminine. They could have had, if they were going to go this route, and I don't agree with it, because you want to play your favourites, they could have had a woman who looked fairly effeminate.
It doesn't...
But still be badass.
Nice, mate. It doesn't matter. Because anyway, she batters his head in with a golf club, yeah? The internet then goes crazy. People are publishing these videos online and showing everything that's going on, and they're taking screen caps, and it's being memed, and the news are being reported on it. And then Sony and Naughty Dog do the dumbest fucking thing ever. All hell, the Barbra Streisand effect. Copyright strike for even talking about it. Yeah?
Yeah, that's the thing. Even if you didn't actually show anything from the leaks, you showed nothing from the leaks, they copy strike you. And there's a couple of channels where they've copy striked it and copy claimed it. So if you rightfully claim the copyright strike to be removed because they can't prove it, that gets removed, and there's a bloody copyright claim on there. So you get access back to your video, but it's still not live. No. This company that Sony and Thingy have been using are absolutely misusing. Yeah, go on, you go, because that's the bit that's pissed me off.
That's the Barbra Streisand effect. Yeah, they used a company called Musso TNT, which is apparently registered in London, and they used them to copyright on behalf of Sony Entertainment, and they cocked everything up, and everybody went mad. Yeah, and then shortly after all this disaster happened and all these strikes happened, another news thing comes out and says, The Last of Us wasn't leaked by an angry employee. It was leaked via a hack. They apparently dipped into the Amazon Web Services, and they retrieved a key from the game, which then allowed them to access the game. I don't want to sound rude or anything, yeah? That sounds like bollocks. There's too many assumptions there to be made. You can see that this has come from if you look at the leaks, you can see these have come from several employees, or I say several, I mean I saw 3 names. These come from 3 employees' names. Someone wasn't hacking their system. This came from 3 sources. This was put together, and maybe someone had put this together and put it in a file and said to someone, if you go here and you type this username in and this password in, you can get this. Yeah, might be interested for you to see. You treat people like shit, karma's going to come around and bite you so hard on the arse you're going to bleed. All right, it's insane. And then to top it off, there is news that Sony somehow have patented a anti-spoiler piece of software. They put a patent in there for an anti-spoiler piece of software. No one knows how this really works. But apparently they've done this. They did it before the game came out. And people are like, kind of, what the fuck is this shit? What are they playing at? They are pissing people off left, right, and center. And then they released another trailer of The Last of Us 2. They removed any sign of Abby. They tried to give a feel that Joel's in it all the way through and you play as Ellie all the way through. And we know that's not true because we have seen the evidence. And I am a little upset because I really like that game. I thought the next thing to be spoiled was going to be James Bond, not The Last of Us. And now I've finished.
Congratulations.
Sorry, that was a bit of a rant.
I can take it that all 3 of us are just not going to buy this game.
No,
wait and see.
If I buy it, it will be on it's going for £12.
Yeah. So
not paying full price for it.
No, if it comes out, and some people will buy it regardless, I will have a look through what they say, and if the rumors are true, if the leak is true, when the game comes out, if it's true, I won't be buying it, even in the bargain bin. I don't agree.
I'm not buying it because of the way they've treated people.
Yeah, I don't agree with anyway.
I know you disagree. I know you disagreed with the way that No Man's Sky handled their shitness. But No Man's Sky's shitness wasn't shitty. It was quiet. It was like Get your head down. Get on with fucking work. Fix this shit.
They did. Fairness to them, given their dues, they did. They went and worked and worked and worked, and now they've got a game which actually I think supersedes what they said they were going to do. And they released it all for free, blah, 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 blah. So No Man's Sky, although what they did was release not even a beta of what they said they were going to do. They fixed it. They've done, but this is a story. It's the storyline that I don't agree with, and the way they've gone around treating not just their staff, but people who are actually just talking about this story.
Yeah.
I mean, what they're trying to do is kill free speech. And I don't agree in the slightest about that.
It's not really.
I mean, what they're doing, Nigel, Sony has invested millions in this game. They know that go woke, go broke, but they figured that because people, if none of the plot lines leak before day one, everybody will go out and buy this game because it's The Last of Us, and they've made their money back. Now that is not going to happen. They will be lucky to recoup their investment because the general people are not going to buy this game because go woke, go broke, and they just don't seem to learn.
Okay. All right. So there's a couple of people in the comments.
Yep. So we got to say hello to
Star
Commander Bats.
Hello, mate.
How we doing?
He's finally remembered.
Yes.
Finally remembered to watch.
Our friend who loves playing Elite Dangerous loads, and I know because I pop onto his channel and look at a few videos, and then I think about starting up on my PlayStation and realize I can't fucking land it. I can land an actual aircraft, but I cannot land a fictional spaceship. How does that work? I don't get it,
mate.
All right, so given the way that Naughty Dog have behaved shitty and Sony have behaved shitty, apparently Sony moved their headquarters to California and then they started behaving more shittily. Surprise, surprise. This is a prime opportunity for Microsoft, to stick the fucking boot in, and actually cause some issues. Well, so
yes,
there was a Xbox X Series gameplay reveal on YouTube. All right, it had no fucking gameplay in it whatsoever. It was all pre-rendered stuff. It was all pre-captured stuff. No actual gameplay. I couldn't see a fucking meter, a prompt, or anything in any of these games. Microsoft, you fucked up royally. There were a few interesting things in there that you saw. There's a weird fucking game. I think it was called Scorn. And then there was this other game that was from a developer in China. That's Vaporware, I'm afraid, because they said it was from a single developer in China. And I don't think that's going to happen, because you always look at these games on release and you go, which one's real, which one's Vaporware. But the really annoying thing is, before I open the floor, the really annoying thing is that when I looked at the presentation, I'm a sad bastard. I watched the Stadia presentation from the Stadia guys from Google, and Stadia is crap. I've got it for the next 2 months. I played it twice. It's crap. I've got 720p fucking Destiny. I've got 720p zombie army ghost shit. It is ghastly. But their presentation that they did was spot on, the way that you expect all people locked in. These people were using potato cams, so they were like running fucking potatoes with terrible fucking audio and everything. And it was terrible for Microsoft. They should have just invested in a few decent webcams, some lighting rigs and stuff like that, sent it out to people's houses, did a few tests and put it out on top of what they did. But they failed to capitalize on what would be perceived as Sony's mistake, and this would be a prime opportunity to fucking hit the ground running. Apparently there's more stuff in July, but I will say one thing: the product manager who was in charge of this tweeted out that we failed you and we will do better next time, instead of blaming the fans. Which I was really happy for. Now you guys can talk. Sorry.
So quick question: the games that they, inverted corners, showed, were they cross-platform games?
I think there were about 3 that definitely weren't. 3 that definitely weren't, because they had the thingy. But there's a Madden reveal on there, which is fucking pointless because we all know the Madden games are pretty much the same. There was the Ubisoft's Valhalla, is it? Is it Valhalla? Vikings.
Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's
Valhalla.
Creed.
Assassin's Creed,
Vikings, I'm going to call it. They're really just right. This is the annoying thing. Assassin's Creed, yeah. 2 eras that you've missed, yeah. World War II spies. You could do the French Resistance in Paris. That would be fantastic. Or you could do fucking ninjas in Japan. That would be awesome too. And they are fucking assassins, yeah. That shit would be really fucking good. And I'll harp on about that loads. They showed that stuff. The really annoying thing is that there's a guy I watch called Hill versus Babyface. I think Keith watches him every so often too. And he turned around and said, he watched the presentation, he got to the end of the presentation, he went, "Can you remember any games?" And I was like, no, nothing jumped out at me. This is the weird thing, is that all my bitching about Sony, and they fucking deserve it at this point in time. Sony can create games with a bit of soul in it. Nintendo, again, create games with soul in it. Microsoft don't really tend to create games with too much soul in it. They seem to be lacking a bit of soul. And I don't know what it is that they're missing. I think maybe they focus group it out. Maybe there isn't artistic integrity. But it is odd. But the gameplay was that. But there was no Halo. There was no Gears of War. There was no. I don't know if there was any Forza in it. If there was, I forgot. So there's big tentpole games.
Yeah, but can you really, another Gears of War game, another Halo game, really?
I'll tell you what's just been released, Gears of War Tactics. It looks very XCOM in the way it plays, and it actually looks very decent if you like that sort of game. But that's a change from the genre that is Gears of War.
Hey, hang on a second. No, do you know what the really annoying thing is? I've got Gears of War Tactics, but I can't play it because I haven't got a powerful enough PC, because it's on the Xbox Game Pass, because I've got the Ultimate version. And I can't play it because my PC is not good enough. Really fucking annoying. I really want to go on it, because you said, it's like XCOM. I went, I've bought it. I've already got it. Actually, no, I don't have to buy it. I own it. Well, I don't own it. I'm technically...
It's a shame you can't play it on the Xbox then.
Yeah, that's the annoying thing with the Xbox, but hey ho.
See, since what's been happening with Sony and the way they're shutting people down, just talking about stuff, I've started to lean towards the next gen with Microsoft, and that's the first time I've really, in the last, 15 years, PS2, 3, 4, blah, 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 that I've started to do that. And because of shitty practices, and I was looking at this to see what sort of exclusive games they're going to have to draw me in, to pull me away, because I've always asked you.
I've
always asked Gareth,
hang on.
What games does Xbox have that are exclusive that I would like to, sort of crack on and play? I know you listed a couple like Sea of Thieves.
This generation's been appalling.
Sunset Overdrive and Gears and Halo, and that's really and Forza.
Forza's annoying because they fucked it up with microtransactions. They need to.
Other than that, yeah, I heard. I had the 360, and I had Forza. I think it was 2 back then, or maybe 3. I don't know. And I did like that game. That was quite a good game. But I heard they've done exactly that, added transactions.
Yeah. All right. Let's Keith show his meme. Go on, show your meme.
I've lost it now. I just thought somebody sent me this. Somebody sent me this, and I just thought it'd be funny to show you it.
Hang on. I earned the hate of an entire fan base in 3 years. Is that Ryan Johnson? I don't know. Who's that?
No, that's Neil Druckmann.
No.
Oh, Neil Druckmann.
That's Neil Druckmann. And he's saying, hold my golf club.
No, it's Kathleen Kennedy at the top. You
fucking hell, Nigel.
That's who I asked who that is. And you went, Neil Druckmann. I thought, no, that's not got a beard.
The bottom one.
Hold my golf club.
If you drop into Pocket, I've got a few Last of Us memes in there if you want to have a nose at them. Okay, all right. So Xbox dropped the ball. Yeah, they dropped the ball on it, but it doesn't help that Sony fucking did a second cock up.
Yeah, they have.
We talked about this last time we were together when we turned around and went Farming Simulator and City Skylines. Okay, they're two good games, but you kind of you don't want two two-course salads, do you? You don't want a starter for salad and a main for salad, followed by a dessert salad. Yeah, it's kind of not done. You kind of want something a bit meaty with one of them, and these work good as complementary games to something a bit meaty. But apparently, this has been the worst received PlayStation Plus ever. I always love it when they say ever because it's not not terrible. It has 12,000 dislikes as of this article. I won't say that, but 12,000 dislikes as of this article. It's not looking good. I think Sony should do everyone a favor and maybe put in a more action-packed game or something a bit more involved.
They won't.
To it.
They won't. It's been released, and I downloaded both. I was willing to give both a try. I say both. I was willing to give Farming Simulator a try because I've played very briefly. I have played the other game before, and I do like that sort of game. And I jumped on Farming Simulator, and there's a tutorial, and the tutorials don't actually do much. It's fiddly as fuck. Walking around, turning is fucking slow as arse. It's like turning a boat. You have to push, you push R2 to speed up.
Yeah.
In order to turn at a reasonable rate, even when you're standing and moving between stuff, you have to push R2 to make them sprint to turn at a reasonable rate. That pisses me off. It's fiddly as fuck. It is not quite what you. It's not the same. It's not quite the same game or style of game as a sim, like playing top down, because you're playing at level. You can jump into things and whatnot.
I think we get the picture. I'll give it a go.
I think you can play co-op, so we might be able to play that together.
Co-op, all three of us. We're just like, who's got my combiner?
We've got a brand new combiner.
I was giving it a proper go this morning just to give it a bit of a chance, because I jumped on for half an hour, got frustrated with it, logged off and played the other game, and I played that for like 3 hours, and I didn't realise how long I'd been playing. And that's when I realised Farming Simulator shit, but the other game really quite good.
Skylines. Okay, let's move on because believe it or not, there is actually some good news for Sony. Now, I know that Keith is a massive fan of Mark Cerny, or Dana Carvey, as I've put him. But his PS5 tech talk has been turned into a relaxing ASMR video.
He does have a smooth voice.
He does have a very calming voice. I will give you that. But they've put some ambient music in there, and they've put him in there, and it's genius. I'm going to listen to it tonight to see if it helps me go to sleep.
I listened to it before this podcast, and it had calmed down quite dramatically. It's very good.
I think it may be one of the most genius things. I'm going to have a listen. I think I'll tweet that out. But there's some good news for Sony given everything that's gone on. So first things first, we've got a question for Nigel. Would you care enough to answer Mr. Baptista about your current state?
So he's asked, is my PC in the wardrobe that takes me to Narnia? Yes.
No, he's just locked in a cupboard. So he hasn't come out the closet yet.
I'm not allowed out.
Yeah, and Babster, he looks up to Mr. Tumnus.
we made
Hang on, which one was that?
We did make a video when we were gaming Face Punch about freeing Nige from the cupboard.
Yeah,
we did.
Yeah,
you're not coming out of the cupboard until you get me another 2,000 followers. Fuck that twat.
Yes, I remember that. Okay, so Keith, Better Call Saul.
Better Saul.
Better Call Saul. Right, before we start off, I spent this entire season thinking this was going to end like Dexter season 4 with a Trinity killer. I was terrified that this thing was ending. I was literally watching every episode, waiting for something really bad to happen. On the bright side, it didn't, which I feel really fucking grateful for. Anyway, I shouldn't have ambled over you, but here you go. Go for it.
I loved it. I thought it was a really good season. I thought it was better than last season in many ways. I loved all his antics with what's the slimy lawyer guy, especially the prostitutes, sending the prostitutes. That was great. I liked it at the end that Kim got angry when he tried to warn her. Howard, that's it. I've never liked him. I don't know if it's the actor, but he always plays smarmy parts. And he does smarmy parts just a little bit too well.
No, he does. I've seen him play someone who hasn't been smarmy in something else, and he's lashing it on. He's doing a really fucking good job at it too. Because you're not supposed to like him. He's doing his job if you don't like him.
It was nice to. Sorry, I've just seen Malcolm's comment. Which is extra funny. I thought it was a great season. I knew there was another season coming up, so I knew this wasn't at the end. But I love how it's all playing. But and how do you say his name? Inacio or Inacio? The Fring's sort of like spy. He's gonna end up.
I call him Vass from Far Cry 3. Yeah, I can't remember his name because I watched it and the Lau character in it, he was, how can I put it politely? He was a capable adversary for Gus. He seemed very seemed to know what he was doing. He seemed to all the important jobs he would do himself to make sure no one would fuck up. He would, try and push the right buttons and to get loyalty and stuff. And the bit on and that towards those last episodes where Gus has sent that team to kill him, and Matey's trying to get to the door, and as he goes to get to the door, he's sitting out there, goes, "I have trouble sleeping too," like that. And you're like, does he fucking know? Is he clever? Does he know, or is he just constantly paranoid? And then when you see the bathtub later, you find out maybe he is constantly paranoid, and he's got the fucking right to be constantly paranoid. Which the Lau character was fantastic, and then his interactions with Kim when Saul goes missing in the desert with Mike, that had me worried. I thought that she was going to end up on the wrong side of a Mexican cartel.
Well, she might still, because I mean, the first episode that Saul turns up in Breaking Bad, he says, "Did Lyle send you? I don't know what happened to Inacio." So that Inacio is going to die. But I love how this is now playing into Breaking Bad properly. So obviously in season 6 we're going to see him get the new office. I don't think things are going to end up good for Kim. I'm hoping that's not true, but I'm worried about Kim. But this is Better Call Saul, so this has a slightly more happy ending, I think.
That's the thing. I think that's the reason I like it. I say I don't think it's better, but I like it more than Breaking Bad because it has like a happier feel to it. Even with all the darkness,
it does.
There's still a happier feel to it. The downside is that the happier feel leads into Breaking Bad, where everything goes a bit downhill. You haven't got a ginger kid whose parents get killed by an ATM, which was fucking devastated, nor a small boy that gets cut up and put into a drum and dissolved. That dark shit's not really in there. It's more focuses directly on Saul and people around him. I hope they don't take it off into that into the weeds and the thickets that way. But yeah, it is really good. I think it is probably the best thing on TV this year. We haven't had The Expanse yet, so I can't say better than The Expanse until that's on.
Certainly one of the best things I've watched on Netflix this year. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. I enjoyed it. Yeah. No, I would agree with you on that.
Yes, Malcolm.
But,
Nigel is in the closet.
Yeah, majorly.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I don't. I mean, I could go into every single episode, but I don't think I need to. I enjoyed it. I think it's been brilliant. It does go to some dark places, when they had to kill the poor German engineer. But no, it's nowhere near as dark as Breaking Bad. But it's got lots of brilliant moments and lots of comical moments. as well. So, as I said, Saul's kind of weird revenge against Howard was brilliant.
Yes,
Um,
that was
and
good.
Kim telling him to basically fuck off at the end of it was quite good as well. So no, I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. It's good viewing, especially in this lockdown at the moment. I enjoyed the heck out of that.
Excellent. All right, Nigel, you got any comments you want to read out? No,
not that I want.
No, not that I want to read out. No.
Oh, I think we should show them that one. I mean,
no, you need to show the one beforehand. You go this one here. Yeah, and you go.
He asked,
and
"Did I hear you in the closet?" And then I knew.
It's gonna take the piss out of you. Yes. Okay. So, naturally, we have to finish on a funny note rather than ranting on about Naughty Dog for 20 minutes straight like I did earlier. This story's great. It features me. Meet the man who claimed to have the biggest penis in the world and how they cope.
No, you got that right. It does. You got it wrong. It's not Knox got the biggest penis. Is the biggest penis. Now, if it was is the biggest penis, yes, guys, you would definitely be in this one.
Oh, hang on a second. I've got the biggest penis in the world. That works. The downside is that doesn't work for the podcast because you can't hear what I put on screen. Okay, so we meet the man with the biggest penis in the world, a guy called Jonah Faulkner and Robert, oh my God, Esquivel Cabrera believe that they have the biggest penis in the world, while some might see them as blessed. They actually come unstuck thanks to their genital ordeals. So, I missed the clip.
Oh, bless him.
Yeah, so it's right. Oh, fucking hell! All right, so one of these guys is boasting that his cock is 18 inches long. All right, Jesus Christ!
It's about as long as my legs.
Hang on a second. To bring it back to another story, he could use it as a golf club.
They could have used that to kill Joel.
I'm surprised they didn't. So yeah. Oh my God!
I'm sorry. One man was accused of shoplifting.
Do you know what? Because they thought it was a fucking baguette or something. Do you know what? It's something funny. I watched a video of like mall cops getting it wrong. Yeah, and this one mall cop stops this guy. Yeah. And he goes, "Put your arms out. I just want to check you're not shoplifting." He does that, yeah. And he grabs hold of his cock, right, on his leg, because the guy's quite well endowed. And he turns around and goes, "What's this?" He turns around and goes, "It's my penis." To which he goes like this, backs off and goes, "No, that's free. You're free to go, mate. You're free to go." We can't show any of the video, I'm afraid, guys. But I thought it made me laugh, considering that we had the cyberpunk story, and then you had Abby from the Last of Us.
I'm just imagining that, getting pulled, what are you smuggling down your trousers there? And, well, I'm sorry, 18-inch cock.
Oh my God. Eye-watering.
Oh, dear, brilliant.
Okay,
Brilliant.
so I think it's time we wrapped up. So, Nigel.
Hello.
He's going to hate me for this. Plug the Twitter.
He's going to help. Do you know what? We've got a Twitter account. Did you know that? It's at Monkey Nut Punch. Go over there, go to Twitters, and hit us a follow. We'll follow you back, and then you can get a little notification when we go live. And probably do the same on Facebook as well. Follow the page, and then also on YouTube. And then you will not miss us when we go live, and you can have a chat with us as we're going through all our stories.
Awesome.
Well done, Nige. Well done.
Nice.
You haven't lost a beat.
No, I haven't lost it, even though it's been years since you've done that properly. Keith, plug podcast, mate.
Whoa, shit. We have a podcast. In fact, it's this. We turn this into a podcast and we stick it on every fucking podcast directory going, the good ones and the bad ones. It gets put out supposedly in the middle of the week. Yes, you can listen to us, and there's extra stuff on there because we do a really funny intro. So you need to listen to the podcast as well.
It's something to do
And
when
you
you're
can hear us
listening to while you're doing your laundry, or you should be working.
Let's face it, no one's fucking working.
Yes, no one's working. So we got those bits done. We are planning on doing some other bits. We were planning on doing them last week, but some technical challenges and the fact that Nigel let me fucking down means we haven't put anything out. So we'll hopefully do some streaming of some sort for other bits, which won't be podcast related. There'll just be some bits where we pop online, and maybe we'll talk about films that we like. And we'll talk about games that we're playing and stuff like that. And
we're planning to do some deep dives into a few films and stuff. My fault. I kind of dropped my phone in the pond yesterday and killed my phone. It is dead. It is dead. It is now a very nice looking brick.
And I spent the whole day trying to get hold of you before 3:00, and I couldn't until 2ish. Yes. That was fun.
Sorry.
But yeah, we're planning on doing some other bits. Hopefully, we'll get something done next week. So we got that done. Got game streaming and stuff. Streets of Rage 4, Commander Bapster. Yeah, that's what actually one of the things I was planning on streaming. I've actually figured out how to stream from my Xbox and from PlayStation, not actually use a game capture device, which is really cool. And I can do it from my Mac, which is even better because I'm a filthy Mac owner. But yes, anyway, on that note, before I ramble anymore, thank you very much for watching. I'd like to thank Malcolm, Dave, Keith, Orlando, and the 3 people that gave us likes on YouTube, but StreamYard doesn't tell us who did that. So if you've been listening and you've given us a like, thank you very much. If you've been listening and you still haven't given us a like or a subscription, please follow us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter. Yeah, Nigel will send out private DMs with pictures of his butt on. It's very nice. The ladies love it. Yeah,
I do lots of squats.
You can't tell if it's if it's been photoshopped or it's real. It's that good. All right. You don't have to look at it. You can send it off to your lady friends and use it to impress them.
What are you saying?
He's even photoshopped out the ginger pubes.
And on that note, it's goodbye from me.
Keith, you've been watching me.
It's goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from me.
Ta-ra!
Bye.
Keith?